All I did was climb up the attic to find the source of knocking, and now I don't even know what this place is. It all started in middle of night. I snap awake, heart banging against my ribs. I hear 3 dull knocks hammer the attic hatch right above me. Probably a squirrel, I mumble, dragging in a shaky breath. I swing my legs over the side of the bed, grab the flashlight, and push the ladder open. The hatch lifts on a puff of dust. I see no movement, hear no sound. Go back to sleep. Go back down, close the hatch, forget this, I tell myself, forcing a laugh that feels thin. I close the hatch, fold the ladder, and shuffle toward the bedroom door. The moment I step through, the hallway should meet me. Instead, iron shelving rises on either side, taller than the ceiling, vanishing into darkness. Rows of glass jars nestle in metal cradles, each jar cradling a heart that twitches in thick black fluid. Paper tags dangle from lids, swaying as if stirred by breath I can't feel. A dry rasp escapes my throat. Where's the house? Where's my hallway? Maybe I am dreaming. Lucid dreaming. People do that, right?
I flick the flashlight beam left, right, and I see more shelves, more jars, no walls, no exit in sight. The air smells like rusted metal and damp paper. One jar sits at my eye level. I lift it. It's warmer than it should be. The tag tied to its lid reads, "I quit on her." The heart inside gives a sluggish throb against the glass, as if answering. My fingers go numb. Now, all I want to do is wake up. Please, just wake up, I keep telling myself. From somewhere above, I hear a sound of a papery flutter. Something lands on the shelf. It looked like a raven, cut from brown newsprint, edges trembling. It taps the tag once with its beak and croaks the same words in a child's voice, in flat, accusing tone. The jar slips from my hands. I barely catch it, with my knees still rattling. "You're not dreaming," a voice in my head whispers, every syllable cold. I grip the jar so hard it squeaks against my palm. Hearts and bottles? A talking bird? My head can't process these thoughts, so my legs decide to run. Shelves blur while I sprint, flashlight beam jerking. Each heart inside the jars starts thudding in sync with mine, louder, faster, until the aisle sounds like a runaway drum line. Stop staring, move, find the hallway, find anything familiar.
A metal corner appears. I try to spin around it and almost slam into 2 hunched figures. They are wearing butcher aprons and dragging parchment that looks too much like skin, with their lips stapled shut. Razors scratch names, each cut spraying thin trails of black ink. They freeze. One tilts its head, listening. Its razor lifts, aims at my chest, the spot where my own heart is hammering like it wants out. Ice floods my every vein. They can hear me because I'm still alive. My instinct kicks. I duck low and dash past them. Staples snap as they shriek through sealed mouths. I charge into a wider aisle and nearly collide with a waist-high conveyor. Glass stamps, filed, voided, returned, clink along its belt like chess pieces deciding my fate. The entire rig pulses every time I inhale. Each breath trips a klaxon and a red ball over my head. It looks like even the machinery knows I don't belong. The belt blocks my path. I brace a hand on the cool metal frame, swing both legs across, and land on the far side, my boots sliding over a floor that's been lacquered with still wet ink. Ahead, I see an antique typewriter perched on a steel pedestal. Its keys chatter by themselves, hammering out ribbons of smoke that curl into unfinished sentences before fading. With each clack, fresh sheets feed out, blank except for a greasy thumbprint in the upper corner. The machine seems to wait for someone to sign. Well, I am not volunteering. I need to find a hiding spot. That's what comes to mind.
I duck behind a rolling cart, stacked ceiling high with oversized ledgers. My heart pounds so loud I'm sure it's echoing off the iron. From the dark undercarriage of the cart comes a soft scrape, like papers being rifled, but quicker, insect-like. Something lurches into the flashlight beam. A ledger crab, that's all my panicked brain can name it. A giant book for a shell, leather cover flexing like muscle. 8 spindly quills sprout as legs, their nibs clicking on the inked floor. The book's pages flutter open and shut in jagged breathing. It scuttles straight for me, blank pages hanging open like hungry jaws. Ink drips from the quills, spelling half-formed letters on the floor. N-A-M, trying to finish name. It wants my name. I kick the creature on sideways. Its quills snap and ink sprays on my jeans. The cart tips from impact, dropping ledgers like an avalanche. One tome lands spine up, pages fanning, and there, bleeding through parchment, is my name, still wet before the letters hiss and vanish like sugar on a hot pan. A shudder climbs my ribs. They're cataloging me in real time, turning me into inventory. No choice. I sprint again, footfalls splashing through puddles of living ink. My vision narrows to a tunnel as I race into a dead-end alcove. A mural covers the back wall, life-size torso silhouettes painted in glossy black, each shape lacking a heart. One outline is still dripping, edges fresh. Identical height, identical slump of my shoulders, except for the raw cavity where a heart should sit. Beneath it, the paint spells a single word, still writing itself, Unaccounted.
The word punches all the breath out of me. Unaccounted. Like lost luggage. So, what happens to lost things here? I desperately wanted to ask. Before my brain can answer, a tired sigh brushes my ear. Exasperated, almost bureaucratic. Warm lantern light pools over my shoes, chasing the ink sheen into shadow. Someone's behind me. Lantern light creeps across the word unaccounted, making the fresh ink gleam. I turn, slowly because my knees are water, and face the newcomer. A lean, stooped clerk in a coat the color of spilled ink. A cracked rotary dial halo sputters above his head, and he taps a heavy date stamp against his thigh with bored precision. He glances from me to the heart-shaped void in the mural. Unfiled. Still beating, too. Terrific. My jaw works twice before sound emerges. Where is this? He lifts his lantern. A single heart floats inside, thudding slow. The glow pulses with each beat. Backroom of the afterlife. Archive of promises people never kept. You, however, are alive. Administrative nightmare.
Hell. I'm in hell, and the paperwork doesn't even cover me. The truth lands like a trapdoor opening beneath me. I picture endless aisles of bottled regret, creatures carving names forever, exits nowhere in sight. No God, no devils with pitchforks, just a clerk irritated by extra paperwork. My legs fold, I drop to my knees. Air comes in short, useless bursts, and the halo's faint click is the only sound holding the silence together. The clerk's tone softens, though fatigue still drags every word. Feel sorry later. Either we process you, or you rot here unlisted. Pick. I swallow hard. No one is coming. Every second I stall, the shelves close in. If I obey, there might, just might, be a path back. What do I have to do? I ask. He raises one inky eyebrow, as if surprised I didn't argue longer, then points to a rolling ladder bolted to the nearest shelf. Up to level 11. Sign yourself out. Follow the ritual exactly. Hope your pulse holds that long. A fragile spark of hope flickers. I grasp the ladder. The rungs are colder than fear itself. I start to climb.
The ladder shudders with every step, metal groaning like it resents my weight. Shelves glide past, tiers of jarred hearts receding downward until they blur into one dark sea of pulses. I keep climbing, knuckles white around the rungs, because the clerk said level 11, and my mind clings to that number like a lifeline. At the top platform, a single lectern waits, shaped more like a bier than a desk. On it lies a book, the size of a coffin, bound in something that once had color but now looks permanently soaked in ink. Its pages are stitched together patches of parchment hearts. Each patch flexes faintly, names glowing under the surface like coals about to die. One outline on the next page is empty. It throbs, faint but insistent, exactly where my heart would fit. A tray slides out from beneath the lectern, as though pushed by invisible hands. It offers 3 items: an obsidian knife, a bone stylus, and a glass jar half filled with black, iridescent bile. The clerk's stamp thuds behind me, impatient, a clock counting down. I pick up the knife. It weighs almost nothing, yet my arm trembles as though lifting iron. The blade rests against this space between 2 ribs. Cold flashes through chest and spine. There's no more room for hesitation. Pressure, then a sharp bloom of heat, and the heart loosens with a muffled, wet pop, dropping into my cupped hand. Pain spreads in a widening halo, but stays strangely distant, as if the nerves can't keep pace with events.
Blood slicks my fingers. The muscle twitches in my grip, refusing to accept what's happening. I lower it into the jar of bile. The fluid hisses on contact, turns darker still, and the heartbeat quiets until only a dull echo pulses against glass. The stylus fits awkwardly between numb fingers. I press its tip into the heart's surface and scratch the numbers 0213 AM, the moment I first inhaled air. Each stroke burns bright red, then cools to black, sealing into the flesh like a brand. I screw the lid on tight. A small paper tag materializes from nothing, hanging from a thread. Returned. The jar clicks onto an empty recess beside the ledger, as though magnetized. The vacant outline on the page fades, satisfied. Clerk's voice drifts up the ladder shaft, dry with routine. Lie on the platform, eyes shut. The top platform isn't wide, just boards and cold rivets, but exhaustion presses my back flat. I fold arms over the hollow space in my chest, feel nothing there but a slow, ache-filled throb, a phantom beat. Boots climb 2 rungs. Clerk reaches the edge, stamp poised. "Clocking you out," he mutters, and brings the stamp down on my forehead.
Black rushes in like water, pulling sounds and light away. Somewhere below, thousands of jarred hearts resume their private drumming, and the last thing I register is the fading notion that escape might truly be possible. Cold air jolts me awake. Sheets, pillow, familiar dim glow of the bedside clock, 0212 AM. My chest aches, but feels whole. I drag a palm across skin. No wound, only dried sweat. I exhale a laugh that breaks into shaky sobs. Bedroom walls, real floorboards, real night outside. God, I made it back. I roll onto my side and hug the pillow, grin wide enough to hurt. A thought sparks. Tell someone, write it down, prove it happened. I reach for my phone on the nightstand, hand stops halfway. 2 faint black rings circle my wrists like old charity-run tattoos. Ink? Bruises? A chill ripples up, but euphoria steamrolls it. I'm alive, that's what matters. Minutes pass. Relief settles into a warm blur. Details of the archive begin to smudge at the edges. Were the hearts really beating? Did I actually cut mine out? Sounds insane now, like half a nightmare clinging to waking. The more I think, the fuzzier it gets. Soon, I'm sinking into drowsy warmth, eyelids sagging. Just sleep it off, I decide, curling on my side. Morning will straighten this out.
I snap awake, heart banging against my ribs. I hear 3 dull knocks hammer the attic hatch right above me. Probably a squirrel, I mumble, dragging in a shaky breath.